Have you ever seen those awesome resin and wood coffee tables while searching online and realized those are really expensive? Well, I'm going to show you how to remedy that. Hey everyone, welcome to the Goodview Woodworks channel. My name is Nathan, and today we're going to be building a resin and wood slab coffee table. So essentially, it will be a rectangular shaped table with an unusable slab suspended in the middle. So this video is going to be part one of a 3 or 4 part process, and we're going to be showing you how to make the form for casting the table. Okay, so we're going to start out by cutting the pieces of the form, and when you're making a coffee table, there's a few things that you want to keep in mind. You want to think about the length of your sofa, and you want to make the length of your coffee table 2/3 the length of the sofa. So if your sofa is 6 feet long, you want to make your coffee table around 4 feet long. And when it comes to the height of your coffee table, you want it the same height or maybe an inch shorter than the top of the cushion on your sofa, which is normally between 16 and 18 inches tall. And then as far as the depth or the width of the coffee table, that's really up to you and how many things that you're gonna have on it. And so when it comes to the width, it's whatever suits your own needs. So keep those 3 things in mind. What we're gonna do here for this coffee table, we're gonna do 22 inches wide by 42 inches long. So 22 by 42. So we're gonna go ahead and cut the sides. Now, if you guys don't have a table saw, at home, your local hardware store should be able to rip everything down. I shop at Home Depot because it's close, and they cut all my pieces on the panel saw there. So it saves some time, and if you have a small shop like me, it saves some space too. So I just had them rip them down in general dimensions, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut them down now to the final dimension, and I'll see you later. Come check it out. We are going to be using melamine for the form, or some places call it shelf board. And the reason why you want to use that is because the material or the painted surface has a very slick non-stick surface, and we don't want the resin to stick to the form. So it's an awesome choice to make forms. So we're about 21 7/8 by 42. Okay, so now that we have the bottom of our form cut, we're going to move on to the sides. So the sides don't have to be very tall. As a matter of fact, at Home Depot, I had them rip cut it 3 inches tall. We're not going to use that whole 3 inches. We're only going to make the coffee table about 1 inch thick. So what we'll do is, since I had them cut down it to 3-inch strips on the panel saw, I'll go ahead and use my miter saw to cut the length and the width. And remember, the width is about 21 7/8 wide, and the length is 42, okay? So we'll do the long side first. Okay, now that we have got the sides cut, we're going to want to cut the ends of the mold. Now the ends, when you make a mold and you cut the sides first to the exact length of the bottom board, you want to cut the ends wider so that it overlaps. You have a place to screw into. And you'll see what I mean later. So what we're going to do is, because the bottom board is 22 7/8 wide, and it is 3/4 of an inch thick, we want those ends to overlap the same thickness of the board. So you're going to take that 3/4, multiply by 2, which gives you 1.5 inches, and you want the ends 1.5 inches longer than the width of the bottom. We're going to make it 21 7/8 plus 1.5 to give us the right measurement. You got that? All right, so we're going to go 22 plus 1.5 inches, 23.5 minus 1/8, and that gives us 23 3/8. That's where we want to cut. Okay, so now that we have the bottom and all the sides cut, what we're gonna do is we are going to mock everything up and pre-drill so that we can take it apart and apply packing tape on top. Okay, the next step is we're gonna apply some packing tape to the board. And what you wanna do is you wanna line the packing tape with the top edge of the board. And if it's not wide enough, we can fix it. You just want to make sure that when we screw these things together, that it overlaps on the packing tape so that we get packing tape all the way to the bottom of the mold. If you have a couple wrinkles in there, don't worry about it, because when we take it out of the mold, it won't be the final product. We'll still cut it down to size, like trim up the edges and get everything looking nice. All right, once you got all 4 sides taped up, we're gonna go ahead and tape up the bottom. Alright, once we got all that taped up, we're ready to screw the mold together. And we're just going to use some drywall screws to anchor this thing together. When y'all get a chance, get yourself a big old bucket of screws. I'll link it down in the description. We got it from around the corner. This is what I was talking about making your end pieces 1.5 inches longer than the width of the bottom, so you can see that it covers up those ends. See, if we made it exactly the same width, it would stop right here, but we need it 3/4 on this side, and we need it 3/4 on this side. And 3/4 times 2 is 1.5 inches. So that's where we got our measurement from. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Okay, so we're gonna do the same things to the ends. We're gonna pre-drill, screw them together, and we're almost done. Alright guys, so if you've mismeasured, like I apparently did, and miscut, and it's not exactly where you wanted it, that's okay, because all we're worried about is the inside dimension, not the outside dimension. So for all you perfectionists out there, it'll be okay. Okay, so now that we got our mold made, we are going to take some clear silicone caulk and we are going to run a bead around all the corners. So we're gonna be doing all the inside corners. So here, here, and here. And what that does is it keeps the epoxy from soaking and seeping down into that crack and possibly getting out and leaking down. So we're gonna make sure everything is sealed up so we don't have any epoxy leaking. And once that's done, we are finished building the mold. Alright, this is usually pretty messy, so what you want to do is get a napkin or a paper towel or shop towel or something like that to wipe your fingers off. Alright, that's it. We're done with the caulk. And if you want to see the corners here, you can see them. They're real smooth. No epoxy is going to get out. And if you have any kind of variation, like see that? Oh, I see an air bubble. Let's get that. Get that out of there. If you see any kind of variation or anything like that, remember, this is not going to be the finished product. We're still going to cut and finish the table after we pulled out the mold. This is just strictly so the resin doesn't leak. But that's it. If you guys have any questions about building a mold, just ask underneath the description in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, and don't forget, this is only part 1 of about 3 or 4 videos. Take you step by step on how to make a resin epoxy table for somebody who may not have all of the knowledge or the ability or tools to finish something like this. So make sure you check out the other videos when they come up in the next few weeks. I'll post part 2 either the beginning of next week or towards the end, and I'll try to get them out pretty quickly so you guys don't have to wait so long. But until then, thanks for hanging out with us.